Excellent. Okay, welcome to Hypno Geeks, the podcast for hypnotherapists and therapists who want to excel at their business, who want to do really, really well. And my guest today is Sibi. Sibi is a guru in terms of, she is a marketing guru and expert, and I'm delighted that she is on our continuing professional development list in terms of supportive, wonderful people who can really help you to have a fantastic therapy business. So as a therapist, we have to wear very many hats. It is true that when you are a good therapist, you're probably very busy seeing clients. You need to be a good therapist. You need to know all the skills. You need to be compassionate. You have to have good scheduling ability. You might need to be able to build a website. There are so many things that you need to do. But one of the things that you have to do is to be a business person. And another thing that you have to do is you have to be able to sell yourself. You have to market yourself. If nobody knows you exist, how can they come and find you? How can they actually discover your services? How can they come and work with you? And when people do know that you exist, how can you make sure that you are connecting with and communicating with the people who do need your services and who are going to really, really benefit from your expertise? Many of my colleagues and therapists for many, many years are, to be honest, the most amazing therapists, fantastic at what they do, but they never get their businesses off the ground because they do not understand the world of sales. We're not meant to understand the world of sales. We're qualified therapists. But in today's world, we need to be able to market ourselves as well. So I'm delighted to welcome Sibi, our marketing guru, onto the Hypno Geeks podcast. Welcome, Sibi.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you so much for having me. I'm delighted to be here too.
So you are a big fan of hypnotherapy. You're not a hypnotherapist yourself, but you are a marketing expert, and you have had really positive experience of hypnosis and have a bit of a good understanding about who we are and what we do. Tell us a little bit about, first of all, who you are and what your background is, and then tell us a little bit about your experience of hypnosis and why you want to help therapists like myself and my beautiful students and graduates to promote their businesses.
Well, that's a long story. I'll try to keep it short. So I have actually been in the industry in marketing and design since 2009. I also have a master's in digital media technologies and design. And I've been working since then in the field as well, right? So I've been working with all different kind of companies, from individuals to I'd even say multi-billion companies. You know, like I've gone through like all different kind of projects, and it's been great. Like it's been a great time, but I also have to like admit I've been a workaholic. I have to admit it as it is. I was in Vienna, in the capital of Austria, you know, with my business. This was like my main residence, and I lived for work. You know, that was like it was just my life. And if you have a passion about your job, you know, yeah, that's what you do. So what happened to me and what brought me to hypnotherapy was when I got pregnant. My life entirely changed. Right? It was absolutely unexpected, not the pregnancy, how it changed. So it was a very difficult transition for me, right? I was used to invest all my energy, my passion, everything, you know, put it into my work, you know, and then like I had a baby, right? And, you know, the usual issues, you don't sleep much, and you know, the kid, like there's some kind of anxiety. Are you doing everything right? And, you know, it's like so many things coming together, right? And well, I had a moment. You know, you sometimes have to reach kind of rock bottom then to know that it's time to do something, where I just realized I'm just working, as in not working, but functioning, right? I'm not enjoying the moment anymore. I don't even know what it means to enjoy the moment or relax. I just didn't know, I just couldn't feel it anymore. So this was why I started hypnotherapy. And now here comes the interesting part, right? I didn't know about hypnotherapy before. Like I have heard the term hypnosis, and I was one of these, how would you call them, disbelievers, the people that have those wrong conceptions, like total misconceptions. Yeah, total misconceptions about hypnosis, right? And that offer about doing hypnotherapy was made to me even before pregnancy, even like even a year before I even considered trying it. The offer was made to me, right? And a couple of times, and I'd be like, right, what, as in, why would I do that? As in, not understanding, absolutely not understanding what I was being offered, right?
There are so many misconceptions about hypnosis, and I think we'll probably chat about some of those as we go on. But you ended up having like a really positive experience of hypnosis. How did it help you go through that transformation that you were having in your life?
Well, first of all, sleep was a big thing, just to be able to be rested and see things clearly, right? And also, just kind of slowly taking back control of my thoughts and, realizing what it is, that I want, and, not looking at like what's happening in my environment, being all influenced by the stresses of outside, but taking the strength from within, right? So that really helped me to get back to me.
Yeah.
And for me, it was a totally eye-opening experience. I was like, oh my God, if I would have done this 10 years ago, or even before, if I would have done that, how would my life be, like even business-wise.
Yeah.
As in reach that clarity where I want to go, right? And this was my motivation, where I was looking at all the different companies I was helping with.
Yeah.
And you see, they all help people, obviously, because every company is giving a solution to a certain problem, right? But mental health is a big thing, and I don't think there's enough support for people. And I think hypnotherapy is a great tool because it helps you today. It's like instant help. You feel already better today, and this is what others, or most of the other therapies, can't give you, right? This instant relief that helps you to move on. So, and also, I guess through hypnotherapy, I decided, I was like, you know what? I've gained all this knowledge over the years. I have all the tools I need, right? I'm going to help hypnotherapists. So I turned to the hypnotherapist that helped me, and I said, you know what? I'll help you now in return, And this is how this, this whole snowball thing got rolling, and where I got then a lot of requests from hypnotherapists, and then I just ended up as in saying, right, you know what, I'm gonna exclude I'm gonna choose this, I'm gonna help hypnotherapists, and to do that, I have to let go of everything else, and I did, and that's where we're at today.
Amazing. I was just having a little scroll because I was just having a look at, there's been some really good research just come out recently about hypnotherapy and how successful it is. And I can't find the data, which is really annoying because I'm looking right now and I can't see where it is, but I'll find it later. But there's some really interesting data which shows like hypnotherapy is in the 90% realm. I can't remember whether it was 92 or 93 or 97%, but they've done some really good research recently, and then what they're saying is that in comparison with regular talking therapies and psychotherapy, hypnotherapy is right up there in terms of real success rate. So the story that you have, your personal experience of really feeling the benefit of hypnosis, it helping you sleep, it helping you kind of find that inner strength, that's something that I see all the time, and it's something that my colleagues and my graduates and even my students who are practicing as well now are seeing on a daily basis. What we have a problem with, and I'm sure you recognize this, is that there are so many challenges for us when it comes to marketing. You know, like, how the heck do we go about creating beautiful images to make things look good? Well, how do we pick the colors that we're going to use? You know, we might have chosen a really fabby, sparkly, shiny name that we're very excited about and we feel really, really good about. We might have a logo which we love that really represents who we are. We may have got that far. We might have discovered Canva, and we might have discovered like all of these amazing apps that can create beautiful images and things. But what we're dealing with is we're sending a message out about what we're doing, but our audience have great big misconceptions. Now, I know that you had some of these misconceptions. The ones I hear are you going to turn me into a chicken? That's a really interesting one. But people seem to think that I'm going to get in their head and that I'm going to do things to them that they don't want. It's a huge misconception about hypnotherapy. How do we go about dealing with those misconceptions when we're doing our marketing?
Well, actually, the answer is quite simple, because you see most hypnotherapists they offer their service to someone else as in hypnotherapy, right?
Yeah.
But most of the people don't even know what that means.
No.
And if you start a conversation like this and you use hypnotherapy and they don't know what you mean by that, but they still have this misconception about hypnosis in particular, where they're afraid, and they are, unless they've tried it already, but most likely then they're already, in therapy. They have this misconception and they're scared of losing control. So if you start a conversation as in, oh, whatever, I can help you with hypnotherapy, they're not even going to continue that, or do not want to continue that conversation.
The moment you say hypnosis or hypnotherapy, it's like they shut down.
Yes,
they don't hear anything. They don't see anything. They don't take anything beyond that.
Yes, unless, we're like, this is the online word. If you had like a personal recommendation, word of mouth is something entirely different. Though, even in those conversations, I have noticed that they're still not going for it. They're still not going for it. That, like, there needs to happen a lot of education for them to open up, right? But you don't want that. You don't want to educate everyone on why they need to try this. You want them to be interested first, right? So my approach to this is to focus on the specific problem they have and tell them that you can help them with this problem, and how you help them exactly. The type of therapy comes second. It's never first. And really, like, people do want the problem solved, right? And if you get their interest by literally addressing their specific problem and giving them the feeling that you know what's going on, you understand them, and then explaining how you can guide them to solution, right? That's how this is going to work. If you put up the
and I love that, because in therapy, what we want to do is we want to install a new way of thinking, a new way of being, a new set of behaviors, and to do that, those new things that we're installing have to be better than what's already there. So if we want to help somebody to stop smoking, we can't just remove the smoking. We need to put something in place that is better and more appealing to them than the old behavior. And the way that we do that is we sell the benefits. I mean, when I buy a pair of shoes, I don't get shoes that are comfy and good for walking. Well, I probably do actually, but I tend to want something that is going to make me feel taller and sexy and happy. When I buy shoes, I'm looking for the benefits of wearing those shoes. When I buy a car, I'm not interested in what's under the bonnet. I just want to look cool. I want to have a good radio. I want to be able to plug my phone in. I'm looking for the things that are going to benefit me. And I think what we know how to do as therapists really, really well, because we've learned it in our training, is we know how to sell the benefits of what we do. So what you're saying is that needs to come across in our marketing.
Yes.
We've niched when we've chosen the area that we want to help people with, when we've found that point of passion, when we go, I really want to help people with this, be it to have a more joyful birthing experience, to feel less anxious, more in control, to sleep better, to feel more positive. Whenever we've decided what it is that we're going to do, we need to sell the benefits of working with you, and not use the word hypnosis at all. Would you say? Would you even use the word?
You definitely, you have to inform people obviously about the method, but
yeah,
like I call it the method. It's not the solution, right? The solution is, so whatever problem they have, they're gonna get rid of their problem by doing that, right? That's the solution. The hypnotherapy part is the method, right? So highlighting it and making it all about what is hypnotherapy and that's not even necessary, right?
I've seen marketing with hypnotherapists, and they've just given a big long lists of words like phobias and fears and anxieties, and they just give a big long list of things that they can work with, but they're not really telling me what the benefit of working with them is. We're not really selling the benefit. But what you're saying is, in addition to selling the benefits, we need to guide them, educate them on the method.
Yes,
as well.
But first, before that, might be an interesting part here, because you're using the word selling quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
So as a hypnotherapist, as a therapist in general, you do not have to sell anything. Selling, like I have cross-selling off my list.
I love that.
Yeah, you do get clients.
I hate selling.
Yeah,
I hate those like pushy sales tactics.
Yeah, it is horrible. Nobody wants to feel like he's being sold something, right?
No, it's awful. And I hate the idea of being pushy and selling. It's really bad.
and even online. Even
Get rid
online.
of selling.
Yeah, we're like, you see, we have all this technology and we all are very well informed, right? And we have access to so much information, right? So if you want a solution to your problem, whatever, you go into Google most of the times, and you research this first, right? So what are you going to look at? You're going to look at something that's relevant to your need. You're not going to look at, whoever uses the pushy language or super buzzy words or seems super trendy. It's not that. You have a very specific need, and whatever reflects that need the best. Or I would even go so far that I say whatever mirrors that need. This is what you're going for, right? So, for instance, you're looking for a new pair of shoes, right? And let's say you have very tiny feet, like, I don't know, what is it in the UK, 6 or 5 perhaps, right? And then you have to go and you're looking for shoes for a wedding, and they have to be red because your dress is going to be red, right? And then you go online, let's say you're an online shopper, and then you go online and you look for those shoes, right? So the first headline is beautiful wedding shoes. The second headline is beautiful red wedding shoes. And the third headline is great choice of beautiful red wedding shoes in size 5 to 6. I mean, you don't even have to think.
No.
You know immediately.
You jump on the internet and you just type red shoes.
Yeah.
For a wedding in the search box, hit go and see what comes up.
But that's a great example, right? Because that's how it works. Someone has a very specific need, and the better you match that need, the greater are your chances, right? And what I like, because in marketing, that's a huge topic. The find your niche, niching down, right? But that is a very unclear word.
It is a bit, isn't it?
Yes, of what is a niche, and what I've seen for most people, like I have been having a lot of chats with hypnotherapists, and the answers usually it's never just one word, which it should be. There's like, I do this, I specialize in this, I specialize in that, in anxiety, in fears, in whatever, change belief systems, in the list goes on and on and on.
My area that I enjoy working with, I do a lot of hypnobirthing, I do a lot of natural fertility work, and I find that really joyful and energizing and beautiful work. But I also work with people who've got PTSD, and I also work with people who struggle with addictions, and I find that work fascinating and engaging and rewarding, but it can be a little bit heavy. So I kind of have this kind of balance it up, little bit of loveliness, bit of joy, bit of birth, bit of greatness, and bit of birth and life and loveliness. And then I deal with the kind of the death and the trauma and the troubles and the pain and the deep pain that people have as well.
Yeah.
And for me, it balances it up. But actually, the tools and techniques that I'm using are transferable in so many areas, in terms of, I can help you sleep better, because I help addicts to sleep better. I can help you feel more positive. I help addicts to feel more positive. So it is really difficult to kind of just narrow it down to one word. What would I say? I came up with the joyful mind mentor, because I do that in everything. I'm all about helping people have more joy. But it's been like a process of about 5 years for me to just even think of a name that reflects who I am and what I do. And that still hasn't really niched me down. It's just given me a title that describes where I'm at and what I'm about. Yeah, so it is that we do say niche down, find the areas that you love working in, I think is possibly a better way of saying it. But it is that in itself is a really complicated thing, isn't it?
Yes, that is very complicated. And through the workshops that I've been doing with my clients, every time we do this, it's a bit, when you go in thinking I might be doing this or that or whatever, it's always a very unexpected process for them to really actually figure out what it is that they want to do. Because this is the main problem. What is it that I want to do? You have to choose, right? And it's really not that easy, because you are blessed of being able to help everybody. You can help anyone. Yeah. And this is your blessing, but it's also your burden, because it makes it so difficult to narrow down.
Sibi, on our training that we provide at the college, we spend a little time working on connecting with our purpose, so that my students can really, through the process of the course, and they're kind of dipping their toe in different areas and looking at specializing in.
Well, about the finding
connecting with your purpose. So on our training course, we have a session which is all about using the hypnosis techniques that we're learning to very deeply connect with our calling, with our divine calling, with our purpose, with what makes us feel excited, with what we love, with our passions. And I think what I do is I recommend that my students and graduates check in with that purpose every day, and make sure that everything that they put out and everything that they deliver and everything that they go public on and whatever platforms they choose is a reflection of that calling, a reflection of that purpose. It's helping them to achieve that purpose as well. And it's going to be something that is possibly as a result of their life experience, as well as, their passions and what they feel they're here to do.
Yes, no, that is very true. You need to be in there with your heart, obviously, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And the thing is, this is also why I state on my website, this isn't for everyone, because not everyone is ready to go down that path, right? We are all ready to choose that path when we've gone through a certain phase of trial and error. Experimenting is always, you need this for your, for personal growth, right? So you reach at some point, or when you it actually works as well when you're starting out, because you might have been doing something else before, and then you realize, now I'm doing hypnotherapy, but I want to do it right. I want to do it like, so I want to choose where I'll take my business, and not let the business choose where to take me. This is one of the main problems, especially if you don't have that initial problem of not having clients. I mean, you have a lot of, because recommendations, and it works that way too. Let's say that works out for you, right? And then you get all these requests, and you can't help everyone, so you're going to help everyone, but this is your business moving you in a way, in a certain path. Basically, your outside world decides on where you're moving professionally. It's not you making that choice, right? And that's not only a big problem, because it's so much time is gonna pass, and so many resources, you're gonna invest so many resources, which is for your personal development, right? If you choose to go there, right? But if you want to decide on your business, how it's gonna go, you have to let go of that. You have to let go of, trying to reach everyone, please everyone, be there for everyone. You just, sorry, my little toddler is trying to enter, but
let me in.
Yeah, leave me alone. This is me time. So
I went for a toddler joining in on this podcast.
Yeah. So yeah, we're inseparable, yeah.
So really connecting with your purpose and,
yes,
and having acceptance that you're not on this planet to fix everyone. There are people that are going to really want to work with you, and there are certain specific people that you're really going to benefit, and it's not going to be everyone.
Yeah, and you can't, you can find out who that is. You really can. See, I don't have to tell you about the law of attraction, right? But there are, if you've been working, like if you had a little bit of experience, there are certain people you attract automatically and who feel very attracted by you, and then these are the sessions you have that you remember even after a long time. You remember these specific people, and you remember what you did with them, what their issues are, and you remember because it gave you more joy and it was more productive than the other sessions, right? And this is what I do with my clients as well. We explore that and identify who these people are and why, right? So by doing that, we also find out what your special strength is, where you're great in, what makes you different from everybody else, right? So you match this within strength with what you're attracting from the outside.
Amazing.
And you really, then it becomes so crystal clear of where your path should go, right? This is how you should start a business, with a choice. By making a choice, this is where I want to go, right? And not just be open, put it out in the open. I can help you with this and that, and then investing so much money, time, resources into building your online presence.
The reality is, there, if you look on LinkedIn, there is a lot of hypnotherapists out there who are not working, which really saddens me, because there are a massive amount of people at the moment who really need our help, who are not getting it, and it's because they don't know who we are, they don't know where we are, they don't know what we do, and they don't understand what we do. For many who are maybe looking to rebrand and start again, you're going to be a great person to work with. But we need to start in the right way, don't we? We need to begin as we mean to go on. And I know within our course, within our college, we work on helping you to prepare that. But if you really want to go for it, if you really want to step up, working with someone like you is going to be really helpful. How do we go about starting in the right way? Because if we've got a small budget or a low budget, if we want to make sure we put our time and our energy and our finances in the right place, how do we know that the steps that we're taking are going to be the right steps, and how do we start in the right way?
Well, we just talked about finding this, what you're going to focus. I call it focus, or I call it a point of interest, something you're focusing on, which then again reflects what kind of client you want to attract, right? So this is the very first step. You got to know that. You got to know your message and whom you're addressing. This needs to be 100% clear before doing anything else. The first step is never the logo, never the website or social media.
Right.
It's not, and I'm telling you this as a brand designer and as a web designer, I'm telling you not to put your money in there first, right?
Okay.
Like when clients come to me,
Don't waste your money.
No.
Get your message and
Yes,
know who you're speaking
because
to first.
You know why this is so important, right? Because if you go to a brand designer, logo designer, like like me, which like I have this other background, so I know which way to go. I go I do it the other way around. I go from back to forth. Like I do literally the reverse, because I know what gets clients' attention. I do the reverse path, kind of. But if you go to a logo designer, right, he doesn't have any of that knowledge of, you tell him kind of what you like, and they produce something based on what you like, not on whom you're going to attract with and why or whatever, right? And even if they put up an ideal client's profile, it's still not focused on that one problem you want to solve for your client. So it's very random, you're going to invest a lot of money, especially in branding. If you go a web designer, they don't know that process either. They might have some basics, but if your message is not clear to you, it's not clear to them either. So this is throwing money out of the window, a lot of money out of the window, right?
Yeah.
So what you do is, once you know what you're gonna do, where your focus is, right, and whose problem you're going to solve, right, you have to be relevant for them. And how are you relevant for them? These people, they all have questions. They all have things they want to know, So what you do is you look into their needs, into what do they wonder about, what do they want exactly solved, how should the life change for the better. Literally, if someone is coming to you, they want to know, how is my life going to be better after this, right? This is the big question, right? So this is where you research, and this is what I help my clients with as well, right? And we focus especially on the search engine itself, because it's a long-term solution. Because if you do this right, in a couple of months, you start getting clients without social media, without even doing anything. It just becomes like, again, we have this domino snowball effect. You just build a business that's gonna build a reliable client source for you. This is why I'm focusing on this, because social media and everything is quite unreliable. It's a lot of time, so you have your point of interest, right? And then you look into what content is relevant to solve that issue for these people. What do they want to know? What are they asking for? And there's ways to find out specifically what they want, right? And what I match then with my clients is what from their personal experience the clients might need, and what from the search engine perspective they might need, right? To make you relevant. Okay, so you decide on what you're going to focus on. Then we look at what is relevant for your target. And then, and this, I'm not going to go too much into detail. Obviously, this has a lot to do with keywords and search engine optimization, right? But I have translated this process in a very easy to understand, easy to follow process, so you get guided. I tell you exactly what you need to produce, and inform you why and that. So people, all they have to do is sit down and write.
Okay? So what's your message? Who are you speaking to? Do some research, speak to them in a way that's relevant, think about their needs, answer their questions, and talk to them about how you can improve their life and how their life will be when they're healed, when their life has improved.
This and the benefits great. And this is when you mention the benefits, that's kind of similar, you're basically showing them their benefits, right? And once you have all that, once you have that content, now is the time to start building that website. And it doesn't have to be anything too complicated, right? It can be a one pager, even nothing too
Yeah.
complicated. With that one clear message, you write around, I don't know, 1,500, 2,000 words. So the most of the relevant work to get started is that, right? And then you
Mhm.
go into building that website, which you can choose one of the, what easy website builders like Squarespace or, whatever. It doesn't have to
Mhm.
be too fancy. This is where you structure it. This is again the process where I help my clients with. It's very important to understand the structure,
Mhm.
to meet the client where he's at and guide him through. It's
Mm.
very similar to a one-on-one session with your client when they come in.
Yeah.
It
So they
it
kind of need to get a flavor of who you are, I think, and be able to sort of get a sense of rapport, maybe know you. And I love the use of other like things like video, the use of audio, the use of different things that are going to draw people. Because I don't know about you, but when I look at a website, if there's loads to read, unless I'm sitting down to read some research, if there's loads to read, I'm just scrolling through that stuff. So I want to get to the bit where I can click and play and it's just given to me. So, we want it to be really simple. And I love what you said. It doesn't have to be a really expensive website. It can be just really simple with your message, and a flavor of who you are. I love that.
Yes, yes, and even then, when you start with that website and you create a logo, see, once your message is so clear, it's also easier for you to create the look and feel of how it needs to be.
Mm.
And this is the point where you can go to a professional with all that you've done before and say, this is what I have, and then they can help you out, and your money is worth investing into
Yeah,
web design and branding. This is the point where it gets worth doing.
absolutely.
But if you're just starting out, you can also help yourself with sticking to something as a prototype, as in picking
Yeah.
one or two colors that fit with the client that you're
Mhm.
trying to attract, and picking one or two fonts that kind of have a bit of a look and feel, rather something elegant or playful, whatever your message is. You can help yourself with to get started with like those low key designs. When I start out, I wouldn't just throw my money at that stuff, right? And I'm the one who gets that money, and I'm saying, don't do it. I wouldn't do that. I would 100% put the content, right? What is going to be the message and the content first,
Yeah,
always. And then once you have that, there will be more content to produce, right?
sure.
Yeah, to get people interested and also to move up in the search engine. And then again, it depends. There might even be targets where there's no need to produce any more content because the problem and the solution is so clear, right?
Yeah.
Every client is going through a customer journey. So if you're experiencing, let's say, I don't know, before getting pregnant, when you're gonna give birth, whatever, and you're experiencing some, I don't know, heart racing and some symptoms, whatever, because obviously you're getting nervous, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So what you're gonna do first is, you're gonna think about it. Then maybe you'll go and type some symptoms in and see, where you're at. And then some time is gonna pass again. And then you're gonna wonder, is there anything I could do? And then you're gonna research different therapies or whatever, or even hypnobirthing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is phases of awareness. The first is you realizing something is wrong. Second is, okay, you understood something is wrong, so you're looking for the symptoms. And the third is, okay, I need help. I know something is wrong and I'm getting help right now, right? So
Mm-hmm.
these are three stages, right? And stage number 3, someone is going to look for a solution. And this is the stage they're going to book you. Stage number 1 and stage number 2, they might stumble upon you, but they're not going to book. So what do you have to do to not lose them, from your website or channels? You got to provide them some extra information. And this is where this all newsletter stuff comes in, right? Where you get people slowly on the hook. But it's a lot of work. Producing
Yeah.
relevant content is a lot of work. So I also look at my with my clients at those 3 stages and look at their own life and their own time schedule. Is how much, this is an important question, how much time do you have, you know, to invest in this, and where do you want to pick up that client? Is it stage number 1 already, stage number 2, or stage number 3, right? And this is why I use the term ready to book clients. Stage number 3 are ready to book clients, right? And this is the lucrative part, you know, of all that.
So once you've kind of got set up, you've got everything, you've got your message, you know who you're speaking to, you've got your message clear, you've attracted them at either any of those 3 stages, you've brought them in, they're now looking at your information. How do we ensure that that they're going to pick us? Why are they going to pick me? Like, because there are so many other people to choose from. How do we kind of, without being pushy, without the big sales pitch, how do we connect with them in a real and authentic way? And how do we come across as the expert? How do we appear to be, well, we are, but how do we get that across? Like, this is our training, this is what we specialize in, this is what we know what we're doing, and actually come and work with me because this is my passion, and this is what I've researched, and this is what I know loads about, and this is how I can help you. How do we get them to hit the book button and make them kind of turn into clients?
if you've done everything that we just talked about, there's nothing more you need to do. You're already the most relevant solution to their problem. There's nothing more you have to do, right? Obviously, the website needs to, you know, not only whatever content is relevant to them, your personality, as in, do I like my therapist? Do I want to go with this person? Obviously, this is also a very important criteria, right? So you'll have your About Me section. Best a video, because, you know, it's like a little get to know thing, kind of. And what I love to recommend, especially hypnotherapist clients of mine, is that whatever text you have there for them, make it more personal. It's like a real session, record it with your voice and let them listen if they want to, right? So we give them clients or potential clients that extra of, you don't have to read, you listen. And by listening, it's also that they get to know you better, because you're doing the therapy with your voice. So your voice is essential, you know? So what we do is we put the voice out there, and it also, sure, if you're gonna lose a few because whatever, it might not like the accent, or, you know, but that's all right. And that's good. It's
they're just not for you.
Yeah, it's a filtration system, right? You don't want everyone to be your client. No. That's good then, because the session wouldn't have turned good either way, you know, if they wouldn't have liked that, right?
Yeah.
So this is the way you can give a bit of yourself without actually giving, because you do this once and it's done, you know. It's not going to take up your time. You don't have to get on the phone and you know, and make sure someone, you know, is going to book, because you've answered every possible question this person might have. You're out there with your own voice, you know. There is nothing else to ask, right? If they are ready to do this, they're going to book 100% without having to talk to you prior.
Yeah, and that's going to save hours and hours and hours of your time. It's going to mean that the energy, the time, the resources, the finances that you're putting into the marketing and getting the word out there about who you are and how you can help people is going to be really, really effective. It's been, I would love to just talk to you for another hour about this. It's so fascinating, and thank you for coming on board and offering to help my students, my graduates, and the colleagues in our industry, because we, you know, I work with just the most amazing, beautiful, gorgeous, shiny, bright lights in their communities. They're gorgeous people they're so talented and they're so passionate about helping people. But if nobody knows that they exist, they're never going to make a living. And, you know, it's got to be about a beautiful circle of giving and receiving. When you're giving as much as the people that I know and who I work with are giving, with all of their time and their energy and their talents, they want to receive abundantly as well. You know, they want to have a nice house, and they want to have a nice holiday, and they want to live a really healthy, happy life that they deserve to live when they're working in service and supporting people. So I'm so grateful. And if you want to work with Sibi, if you want to check her out, the link to her is on our website, the Northern College of Clinical Hypnotherapy.com. You can jump on the website, go to our CPD, Continuing Professional Development section, and Sibi is on there. You can just click on her, it'll go straight through to her website. She got some lovely freebies on there that you can have a look at. Definitely worth having a look at. Loads of good stuff that will get you going. And if you do actually want to work with her, you can actually click on that link and you can book a call. What happens when people click on that link, Sibi?
On my website,
and they click on the I'm ready to work with you, what happens?
Yes. Then they get to their schedule your audit page, where you can choose what you're most interested in. As I said already, everybody's on a different path, you know. Ask all the questions that you want, even in advance, and I will ask questions in return. This is how it usually goes. So I get this email with all the information they have to give me, you know, to look at, and then I'll have definitely questions in return, and then we start our, I would say, especially for your students, because they're starting out, intensive 2-hour workshop, right?
Okay.
And that would be to find that one thing they're great at and they want to target, you know, this focus, this point of interest. So this is basically the first step that we're taking.
And this is a one-to-one workshop that you run with them.
Yes.
So exciting.
Yes, it needs to be. You know, I've been thinking about how to do this best, and you know, it could have been an option to build an online workshop, you know, and then just you know, offer it to plenty of people and you know, go ahead and try, but it's never going to bring the same results. Never. Having the response, getting that, being guided through there, getting the advice, and I can literally tell them in real time what makes sense by looking it up with my tools, also as in, you know, what makes sense, you know, online. Where is the demand? What are the people looking for? Does this match? Because, you know, whatever you want to do, it needs to match with the demand, right?
Yeah. And I think one of the biggest stumbling blocks, I mean, I shouldn't say stumbling, but it's one of the biggest points of resistance that a lot of certainly I'm seeing with new students coming in, is that technology is a bit scary and it's a little bit overwhelming. So it's actually really nice to speak to a human person who can get to know them and to help guide them to you know, their dream job. This is it. This is our dream job. Certainly is my dream job. And we need lots of people like you so that we can put on our marketing hat and actually make it really work for us and have that wonderful, abundant life. Thank you, Sibi, for coming on Hypno Geeks, and just so grateful that you've given us your time today. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Work with Sibi. Jump on the website, book a call, answer some questions, and up your marketing. Thrive, not just survive. Have an amazing, abundant business that you deserve, and have a fantastic life serving and helping others. Thank you, Sibi. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thank you too.
Bye.